Hey, we're live. So, good evening, all. Welcome to TFC. This is the Open Mic Season 3, Episode 44. What have we titled this one? Raid, Refactor, and all that jazz. There we go, because there's quite a lot going on. You just got to find it. That's the point. Welcome all in Sidebar Chat. I can see Wayne's in there. Hi, mate. Ford's in there as well. Yeah, there's quite a few in there. Rick and that sort of stuff is in. Captain Lockheed's in. Martin's in as well. There's quite a few people. Actually, Geordie's in as well. Oh, bloody heck. Right. Feel free to hop in and join us. At the moment, I've got Hefe with me. Hi, buddy.
Howdy.
And G-Lady's just popped on the Sidebar Chat as well. So there we go. Come on, guys, hop on in. We've got quite a lot to talk about tonight because there's, one thing that's frustrating. I don't know about you, Hefe, but one thing that's frustrating at the moment, you've got to go find information. It's not just because there's the forums of the place to go find for it, but it not necessarily is the case. Are you finding the same? I'm slightly frustrated where they're delivering their content at the moment, information-wise. It's on Discord, then it's on their BP page, then it's in the forums. The pattern for me, it should be the forums first, push it onto their own Facebook page, and then drop it onto Discord. I'd like it if it would trickle that way and consistently, so we know where to look first. I'm quite frustrated with having to chop from one forum to another, focus to another point, just to get the simple answers out sometimes.
Well, I have a hard time finding stuff on the forums because I'm banned from the forums. So
that doesn't help.
Yeah. So, if you're banned from the forums, you can't even read them while you're logged in. So I prefer, that the stuff seems to first show up in Discord. But that's just me.
Yeah, I suppose if you don't, yeah. I mean, Discord is a really good gaming medium. I get it and that sort of stuff. And it's not just about this one thing. I mean, the thing with Kixeye is, if you go onto Kixeye forum, it's contained within the Kixeye bubble, isn't it? So that's it. So you really got to go on there and actually want to be in the game. Whereas on the Discord, it's just another channel of a multitude of channels, a multiplex of them, and it's just like the next button down, click that one. Let's look at the forum for TFC. It's a chuck away culture these days. My kids are telling me all the time, "Oh, Dad, look at you. You've only got one channel on your Discord." Well, there's only one game I'm interested in. Whereas they've got like over 100, and I'm like, how on earth do you organize that? It's impossible. But they just flick, they've got attention span of gnats almost. They flip from one thing to the other. But when you want to, as you do and we do on our show, really get into the detail of something and have it up to the minute and provide latest advice as best you can, for people asking questions on your pages, I think it's a blooming nightmare, So, not that I'm dissing my kids, by the way, Sidebar Chat and people like so. Society today is a chuck away culture, and they frick from game to game and game. I mean, we all know the average age of the player on here is about 45-ish or roughly around that. So we've passed all that, exciting flicking around stuff in our lives, and now we've sort of a bit of a stability in what we do. So anyway, kids can't afford this game, not unless they've got rich mums in a big basement, but. Right. Anyway, I don't know, mate. I mean, you tell me.
It would be just to be good if they put it all out at the same time. I mean, the Facebook page, because it gets updated so infrequently, people rarely check it. So, but if they could just put it on Discord and the forum at the same time, it seems like problem solved. Copy, paste. They're good at that.
Yeah, and that'd be fine. Just go, if they want to use all three locations, then bang, bang, bang. I mean, their Facebook page costs them nothing, and yet they only ever seem to put out, this hull came out 5 years ago today. Thanks for that. Okay. Or, there's some holiday going on in America. Thanks for that too. Okay. Or, but put the flipping, we've made an adjustment to the game. It's now, down for the next 2 hours, that sort of stuff. If you could just find one place where you could just go, right, that is the textbook answer, and then it rolls on. It's just, it annoys me. Anyway, whinge over. Please just sort it out, guys, and have some consistency. I don't mind which is the focal point for you. You've said it was forums. You told us that last week or the week before. It still doesn't seem to be the case. Anyway, getting to the forums, okay, and this is good for Hefe because he's banned and he can't see them. So this is really the only area I look in, and there are many others. Okay, so you can look on the Battle Pirates. Let me get my mouse pointer on the right screen. So you can go back to Battle Pirates, obviously, and there are several. If you haven't used this before, I mean, some people don't use Kixeye's page, but I generally just look in the general discussion one there, and I'm only really looking for the stuff that basically the CM prints. Not that I'm dissing anybody else's information, but to be honest, we've got like nearly 16,000 people on the page. That's a good enough representation, you know. And chats like with Hefe and that sort of stuff, and Ren and those sort of things, you know, I get a general vibe because Ren's got a good following, Hefe's got a good following. When we all get together and have a chat, you know, we just get that big overview, and I don't have the time to go looking everywhere. So what's happening in the game, this is the place I try to go first. But the delivery style is also interesting. So first thing I looked at, well, what's happening next week? So let's click on what's happening next week. It's changed color again, but this, to me, is probably the most important thing that's going to happen next week. So I think it's worth chatting about. Hey, Geordie, how are you, mate?
Not too bad. Yourself?
Yeah, mate, good. I'm rambling as ever, but, you know, I just want to get to there, and then we'll have a little chat. So Tuesday the 6th in 8.45 update, okay, week 45 of 2018, okay. Yeah, the much anticipated, not really, because you sort of like threw it at us, but it's not anticipated at all. So it could be the long suffering. We'll see how it goes. But we are going to shrink the world's sectors in each world down to approximately 20. Sorry, 10, isn't it? 10 sectors. Is that right? Is it 10 or 20 sectors?
20 sectors per world. So
20 per world. And yeah, that's it. 100 sectors in total. That was it. Yeah, across all 5 worlds. And now I don't know what you think. I mean, they're about, you know, they've done part 1, part 2, and this is part 3. So they've said they've got rid of all the duff bases and that sort of stuff. I didn't think that happened, but they said they were going to shrink the world map icons and that sort of stuff. That did happen, but I still think it needs to be shrunk a little bit more. But now, you know, like me, my home sector is 217. So 217 will basically become the home for, obviously, you know, 237 and 257 and 277, 297, I think it is. I think everyone will just shrink into that sector. Whether it'll still be called 217, I have no idea. But like Robin's lot, they're in 227, I believe it is. So they'll merge into ours. And, you know, I'm just thinking if there's any really big alliances, you know, it'll be interesting that all of a sudden there's going to be a big mess of massive alliances, loads of, you know, other things around like mega ships and that sort of stuff. And it's going to be quite heated, I think, next week, don't you?
Yeah, possibly. And that's one of the things that Cuttlefish brought up, that there's no TLCs listed here. I don't know if that's an oversight or...
That could be done on purpose, though, couldn't it?
Yeah, yeah. But the other thing that you should know is for the first week after sector consolidation, your relocation timer goes down to 1 day for the entire week.
You can jump 5 or 6 times, I reckoned, in the week, didn't they? I think it was 6 in total or something like that. I don't think we'll get the 7th one in, but I think it's because it's 1 every 24 hours, isn't it, basically?
Yeah, so you could, you know, if you end up in a bad sector, it's a day.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, so I don't think you can just go clickety click, 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 and use up all your 6. That's not going to work. Now, some people are going to need to, because they're going to need to jump from one world to a friend in another world, and then scan down the 20 sectors and find the sector they want to get into. So you're going to have to at least waste, if you don't jump really, really early, straight off the raid's finish, literally within. I mean, this is going to come in sort of like it's not 9 a.m., isn't it? Normally the updates, or roughly that, somewhere between 9 and 3 p.m. anyway, kickside time. So as far as I'm concerned, for Hi Guys in Alpha, which is where my whole alliance is at the moment, we want to jump back into you know, the 200s, which is our home world, basically, in our home sector, when we basically most of us actually started the game off fresh. So we want to be able to sort of take advantage of that and go to a location in that sector that's beneficial to us. You know, a lot of people like going up the top, some people like going in the middle, and some like going in the bottom sort of stuff. So we've all got our own preferences. But yeah, if you don't do it pretty quick in the first 24 hours, then you've got to, you know, wait for the update to come. All your bookmarks are gone, you know, and then it's start again, basically. And it will take a couple of jumps, I think, to get people into as close a place as they possibly can.
I think the biggest concern for me, I think everything else will sort itself out in the wash over time.
Yeah.
Biggest concern is the recommendation to record everything in your base in case something goes missing during this transition.
Automatically, though. They're going to do it automatically. They're going to recall your fleets, and I think today, I don't know, do we still have the ability to start an expedition? It said 3 days.
They said -3, didn't they? So yeah, that's a good point. Let's have a quick look, shall we? We'll click the play button. And let's see if his expeditions come up. Not that I've ever done one. I have to say, well, that's not true. I have done some, but I haven't done some in a long time. So let's click the game up. Yeah, but you're right. It said -3, didn't it? So change -3 days. So we're sort of in that sort of stage now, aren't we? Because it'll end on Monday. So that goes back Monday, 24 hours, Sunday, another 24 hours. So it should have already happened, shouldn't it? Sidebar chat, guys. Anybody had a little look at it? I haven't. Well, this actually rolls up. Trying to do two things at once now is obviously going to make games slow. So yeah, Benji's always just said his fleets are still in expedition.
Yeah, but I think you'll be allowed to stay in expedition. It's whether you'll be able to launch one. I think because the idea is that they're going to stop it 3 days beforehand, so you can do your expedition.
Well, it looks like you still can.
Yeah, I don't know when that's going to end.
Yeah, because they said mine's 3.
Maybe it's that reset in 11 hours. I wonder if everybody has that reset in 11 hours. But that's a possibility that when it's over is 11 hours from now. I don't know which. Mine is 3 days at what time and whatnot. Is that your normal time to reset, or is that unusual?
Do you know why I really wouldn't know, mate? Because I can't remember the last time I clicked on that button. It must be several months ago. So
let me check mine.
Yeah, I'm not.
No, mine's still at 5 days, 18 hours. So that's not any indicator.
Okay, so that's just a random number that doesn't mean anything. I mean, I'm not going to keep the live show going for 11 hours. I don't want to beat you by that much, mate. But you know, because that would be pretty epic. That would be in the G Daddy sort of area, wouldn't it? To be honest. Yeah, matchsticks on the eyeballs, sort of stuff. But no, interesting. So it's still there, and yet that's not what they said, isn't it? You go back to the forums, and then you look at. Yeah, you go back into general discussions, and then we look about what's happening in the refactor. Step 1, cleaning up the map, NTP targets, performance and balancing. There you go, expeditions. We'll be turning off the expeditions 3 days prior to consolidation.
Yeah.
So if it happens Tuesday night, Monday night, Sunday night, it should be sometime today, shouldn't it? I mean, I know I've a bit ahead in time than everybody else. I'm not. I mean, in fact, your clocks change tonight, don't they? I think. Is it tonight your clocks change?
I don't know.
I think they do.
Maybe.
I think they do, mate.
Nobody on this forum would know besides me, I guess. But
someone in sidebar chat. I'm sure the clocks go back an hour in the US tonight. I'm pretty sure it's tonight because I think you're only a week behind us. You know.
Yeah, I'm asleep at that point. So yeah, they do according to.
There we go. Look, yeah. So
everything changes automatically now, so it doesn't even. You know, my phone changes, my computer changes, everything changes automatically. So I don't.
Yeah. Well, we've got a few people, Lady Cat and that sort of stuff. They're all saying yes. So there we go. So
I've just managed to initiate a
expedition.
Yeah.
Okay, mate. So I wonder if you'll get a chance to get to the end. That'd be interesting.
3 days beforehand. I mean, typically the update's happening about 3 a.m. GMT at the minute. So we're not at if they're, that should theoretically, when they cut these expeditions off, should tell us when the actual update will occur.
Yeah, no, quite agree. Hey, Daddy, how you doing, mate? He's in. I'm not sure if his mic's working.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, mate. How are you?
I thought I heard my name called, so I thought I'd come in and pop in and say.
So that's what I've got to do. I've got to quote everybody, and that makes them join up. I can say you're right. Who can I pick on next?
Well, G Daddy will keep the show going for 11 hours for you.
Well, yeah, exactly. I can just knock off now, and G Daddy can keep going. He has been known to do a full 24 hours before on live shows.
On live shows, yeah.
Yeah. So, and look, anyway, let's have a look at this next week thing again. So, yeah, and here's my example about how information comes out. So this one here is telling us then that basically sector consolidation, much anticipated. Well, not in a positive way necessarily for everybody. There you go. Full briefing available in the forums. Okay. Well, there isn't a full briefing available in the forums about the consolidation. There only is about refactoring and the fact that sector consolidation concept is in there as well. That's what it is. Because when you go to the consolidation piece, it talks about it, goes a little, it's descriptive chart, but doesn't say that that's exactly how it's going to be. It suggested that's how it's going to work. And we're still waiting for their next, obviously, BP Live and that sort of stuff, which is now going to happen, it seems, just after this has actually been enacted. So it's like, it's already happened and then they're going to talk about it, which is a bit odd, I think. But yeah, I find that quite strange. Hey, Ozzy, how you doing, mate?
Good, thanks.
And what time of day is it for you, bud? Give me a clue.
5:17.
5:17. Oh wow.
18 now.
I don't know if that's better or worse, because obviously we're an hour earlier starting because I'm trying to keep it online at the same time for the guys in the States. Like, but then if I'm an hour later, that's an hour more bedtime for you as well, surely. So you'll probably enjoy it more next week because you got a bit more of a lie-in.
How long have you been on now?
Oh, literally 18. Yeah. About 18 minutes,
cool.
roughly.
Yeah.
So yeah, the other thing, obviously, don't forget, great news. So you're going to relocate and that sort of stuff, and then all of a sudden your chat bar is going to die. So all the world chat should die off, and the sector com should die off, and that sort of stuff as well. And they don't know how long that's going to happen for, but I think that's part of the skewy bit of, I mean, I want to do it one world at a time. That would make sense, wouldn't it? So rather than goofing the whole game up when it goes wrong, we can just goof up one world and then stop it. Don't know what to think about that. I wonder how long the game will be down for as well. I can imagine it'll be down for quite some time.
Yeah.
So many unanswered questions. We're plucking questions out, but we don't have the answers because there's not been a huge amount of sort of communication. Talking of communication, here's something of interest. Okay, what do you make of this? Let me just change the screen. So those that use Discord and use Discord regularly, and I know there's a few. So normally on the Discord, look at Hefe out there. Look at him. He's a proper pirate. Okay, I'm down here somewhere. I don't know where I am. Now, normally on Discord, okay, so this is the app I've downloaded rather than the page itself. Discord in the top corner used to have all the Kickstarter individuals up here. It's disappeared.
Because it's Saturday.
So that only just pops up in the weekdays, is it?
Well, when they're on, I mean, some of them will pop up on Saturday or Sunday if they want to, but I think it's, I think they're just not on. Well,
I don't know. I used to see Mike at weekends and that sort of stuff, and a couple of others as well. So I just thought we'd keep an eye on that and see what happens. Maybe we'll look on Monday morning and see who pops back on. But normally you get quite a few names pop up there and that sort of stuff. But I don't know. We'll have a little look because it's been pretty decently supported, I think, to be honest. And some key individuals in there, Chris as well. They've been answering some pretty giving some pretty straight answers, some pretty good questions. But I don't know. I just thought that I've never noticed it. Yeah, there's Corbin as well, another person that answers an awful lot of stuff. But it's interesting. I mean, that's so that's yesterday. So that is a weekend. Is there anybody actually? Let's have a look. I'll flick down a couple of the pages and see if anybody's actually answered any stuff in the last couple of days. Particularly, I suppose. General chat is normally the one, isn't it? To be honest.
Well, also in community support, that's where you tend to see Corbin.
Yeah. See, he's been in today. So it's interesting. So he has been in today, but I've logged on quite a few times. I've not noticed anybody come up the top here, which is quite unusual, to be honest.
Well, like I said, it's more of the case during the weekends.
Yeah.
But maybe they've done something else. I don't know. Maybe they have made a change.
No, fair dues. Strange. Yeah, thanks, Maggie. Yeah, she's Tripod Chat. She said there's a Kicks member at the moment who's answering questions. So, but yeah, there is somebody pops in, pops out, that sort of stuff.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't know. Should we zip forward to constant and now? In fact, we'll take that off share for the moment because there's some other things I want to talk about. But we'll go back to where we are at the moment. So flipping back to last week. Last week, obviously, we had the additional mini raid basically, which was then to go and get some items that clearly now seem to be needed in this weekend's raid. We tend to agree on that. There's a few sort of like countermeasures that we, really could do with on some of our ships now in these new 104 and 106 targets that if you haven't got them, you're having a bit of pain this weekend.
I thought it was because my ship turned purple. It was doing these things, but maybe it is the countermeasures.
I don't know. I'm not so sure. I'm feeling a little bit sort of like peeved that the fun event last weekend, wasn't necessarily there to do any escalation on your raid fleet, and then all of a sudden an announcement came out to say that the items that are available in this weekend you won't be able to get for some time. And then I noticed that some people, which I'm going to test myself, my shipyard is finished now. So when I finish this tonight, I'm going to actually do a little video, and I'll do a 104 target without any of the new countermeasures on it and stuff. Then I'm going to go and fit it out with some new countermeasures, and I'm going to go straight back in and then see the difference and see if it actually does make a difference, which will prove to the point outright categorically that if I use the same path and everything, that the items that were released last week were must-haves, which meant the event was a must-do and not what we thought it was going to be with a fun event, which I don't believe that's the case personally. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just a skeptic.
You know what you're doing the 104s for now, Pearson?
I'm not, because I took so much time. I mean, you know, I do the warm-up and that sort of stuff for people so they can have a look at targets. Fantastic, no time. But by the time I come back on after letting that fleet fix, it was like nearly 4 times the damage. So I actually dropped down and was doing the 100 and the 102 instead. I know you don't get the bonus, and there's a couple of sexy shards you don't get. But to be honest, you know, I could do 1 3/4 or 2 targets, or I could do 6 or 8 targets.
Yeah.
You know, so that's what I've been doing. In fact, it's a bit embarrassing when I've got, you know, the flagship and I've got a full set of ships with all the nice new armors and that stuff. And actually, I'm preferring to hit the 80s.
Yeah.
Which I just don't normally do, which is just not me. But, you know, 10 million points and then go and have a 7.5 hour fix. And like I said, I'm still only building 1 fleet, and I'm certainly not coining through this event.
Well, the 80s are in base repair at worst, aren't they?
Yeah, you can do really, really well. So, but to be honest, you know, I'm not sitting in it all day long, taking the ships apart and then putting them back on again, because we like I said, you know, we've had 1 raid weekend, we've had VXP weekend, we had the additional weekend, we've had this weekend. You know, I do have a life.
Yeah.
So I'm not doing it. So even on the 80s, I'm just going in there on the BP app. I'm going hit. Thank you very much. The ships are now dead, and I'm just going to go and fix.
Well, I'm not impressed so far by the new specials, the new countermeasures, and I've turned 1 boat majority countermeasures with the new special that's awarded with shards.
Yeah.
And there's a guy in my ally who hasn't changed his build since last raid, and he's only 5 or 6 minutes per target worse off than me.
Heffy, how are yours, mate? Because you've said you've done it, haven't you? You've basically done what I said I intend to do.
Yeah, before. I started the raid hitting the 104s with my bats, and there was so much lag in them that I just didn't find them enjoyable to do. So after I hit 5, I refit with some tokens, and added some countermeasures and the nozzle, and I'm taking about the same damage I was prior to the increase in damage. I'm still getting about 40 minutes per 104 with the my bat race by adding. I think I added 2. Can't recall if it's 2 or 3 of the anti-torpedoes and 3 or 4. I think 3 or 4 of the new gales, and then I stripped off the rest of them, the rest of my gales off of my my other ships, and put on the Gathering Storm. And it's status quo. I like I said, I haven't seen a bump in my damage because of the increase in that, because I'd already refit by the time they increased it. So I can't say how much it helped me or hurt me, because I never hit the upgraded targets without these changes to mine. So I don't know. All I know is I'm taking the same amount of damage, and while other people are complaining they're taking significantly more damage. So.
Okay, so based on last month's sort of like, you know, literally this time last month, the mid-raid sort of like weekend show, you're almost in the same situation. And so you've just hit the nail on the head there. So you start off the raid on this much damage. You've then noticed that the damage dials have been turned up again. You've now refitted with the new specials and that sort of stuff. And now you're back to where you were basically you started the event. Yeah. It's almost of the ilk of like, I'll tell you what, let's do bugger all to our fleets compared to last month. They'll look at the damage and they'll go, oh, the damage is about right. You know, and actually then you can stick your freaking specials and we just won't put anything on. We'll just go standard fleets all the time. It's just, you know, I mean, whatever we do to try and overcome and sort of like mitigate damage, they turn the freaking damage dial back up, you know, to suit their own pockets, which is bloody disgusting. You know, I complained about it massively last month, and I'm even more pissed off this month. You know, and I haven't, you know, I'm categorically not building a second fleet, and I'm categorically not refitting this fleet unless I can do it for free with some tokens. And I just happen to have some tokens now, so I'm going to fit some on the flagship, but I'm going to record the changes and mix it and see it and just call them out on it, because it's really gripping me now. It's all about money, and enjoyment is great, but when you start taking a piss out of people, which I really think they're doing at the moment, I'm getting proper hacked off of it. And I told them that last week. I absolutely wrote to them and I went, look, I think you are starting to take the piss out of people. And that's where I am at the moment, and it's not just me. Raina from her alliance, that sort of stuff, and plenty other high-level players are really, really hacked off at the moment. It's starting to really grip me. And they need to sort of like think about what they're doing because it's not ethical as far as I'm concerned. I think it's immoral, personally.
I think it's something they've always done, TSM. It's just the fact that they've had to do it more severely because there's only so much they can milk out of people until they get to the point where there's only those people still left paying who then notice it's hurting them more because they're the only ones still coughing up. So they're the ones now getting affected by the budgetary requirement.
Yeah, I mean, do you know what? And we can say what we like, but it was a game of fun and that sort of stuff. And we drove the desire from having a laugh of each other, quite cheap as well, and smashing your own fleets 40 or 50 times a night and having quick little battles and messing around. That's great. But, I mean, there's a, and I will share it. So Mike actually put up another, we've had a couple recently. And here's the one that I basically wanted to put, and this is where I'm going with this basically. You're probably thinking, what are you talking about? So on here, okay, the final four, there's 6, but yeah. Okay, what is it you basically don't enjoy about BP? So repair times, refit times, all the chores, whole build times, okay, building and upgrade times, content overload. You could almost say all of them, to be honest. But what don't you like the most? And for me, it's the repair times. I don't mind if it takes me a little while to build a boat and I see an investment in it. That doesn't bother me. I still said, as I said last year and the year before, if you've built something and you own it, let's just say you've got a Gale 3. Okay, if you've taken the time to spend 5 to 7 hours, 9 hours building the damn thing, when you take it off, it should go into a little box and you've got it. And you should be able to put it onto another ship for nothing. You own the damn thing, That really, really grips me, that does. So that's one thing. Refitting should be, if you've already spent the money and the time to build that said item, I own it, it's mine. I shouldn't have to reinvest the time again. Time to take it off and time to put it back on again.
Same as your Mega.
That would fix refit times. That would square it away. We've been absolutely happy. So all you got to do is pay for the new stuff that's coming out. So the only other thing in the game that's a real huge issue is the actual repair times.
Hello.
You all right, mate? Yeah, how you been?
Oh, it is working. Sorry, I thought it wasn't working.
Yeah, go on, mate.
Yeah. No, I was saying just like the Mega, when you build something, you store it away.
Yeah, it works, doesn't it? You don't have to pay for it in Mega. You build one of the modules, that sort of stuff. You go, I'm going to put a new module on, and you could swap them out just like that. So it's not as if they can't build it into the game because it's on the Mega ships.
I mean, it's also what they were talking about doing with turrets in bases, isn't it?
Yes, yeah. And I just find it, and I think that would absolutely transform the game, literally. And you just go, well, I mean, you've got all these Hyper 30s you built, and Robin and Raina was struggling the other day to get herself out of fleet for PvP and that sort of stuff, and she leads one of the biggest alliances going. And then she was like, right, I've just got to pay to take the Type of 30 off here and put it on here. And I went, yeah, paying to take one thing off of one and put it somewhere else, it's nuts. Then that takes coins away from her actually doing PvPing.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Battling is supposed to be the fun. Coming out with your design, that sort of stuff, great. And interchanging equipment, modules and that sort of stuff. You shouldn't have to pay for it. I think it's barking mad. And if anything, they're going to do anything, that's one thing for me. And then they could strike that out of the list. They wouldn't need freaking refit times, because there wouldn't be a goddamn issue. But repair times, ever climbing, ever climbing. I'm just hoping when they do the refactor and they change, if it is, deflection or whatever, or pass through disappears or whatever else, they also have a look at the repair times at the same time. If they're going to go completely new on a new concept for repair times, or sorry, build concepts, and whatever the armor strengths are and that sort of stuff, they should relook at the repair modifiers on the hulls.
Well, if you look at those categories they've put out, they could narrow them down further still, because repair times is the only one that's different from content overload. Because if you resolve content overload, then there isn't the requirement to do as many chores. Yeah,
fair point.
There's not the time requirement to do the refits. There's not the time, buildings. The building of stuff narrows down because you don't need the latest stuff, so your older stuff is relevant longer. So
But it's a bit like retrofitting, mate. You know,
you improve many.
I mean, you keep going with retrofitting, even if you don't think so. Right, I'm going to keep that one up to R15. Right, I'm going to work on the next one. So you keep that going every single day. You know, and when you get in the PvP, you know, VXP tokens out of your mega ship, if you're not big in mega ship, you keep them going and that sort of stuff. So you're stocking them up.
Yeah.
You don't lose them just because you went and built a new hull. You utilize them. You go, right, I'm using that asset, and that sort of stuff. So I don't see why you can't say, you know what, I've got, right, that's another 6, you know, Gale 3s built. Right, I'm going to go and build another one. Put that in the bank, you know. And they can go into the set whichever building they want to put them under and that sort of stuff. You can go in there and go, I've got 6 ready to go. Just like they'd use the whole store. You know, create the same sort of thing with a store for specials and another one for weapons and that sort of stuff, you know. We'd still have to build basic stuff because a new hull will come out and a new special and that sort of stuff. So that's, you know, and I get it. We've got to spend some time building that. But at least then you could you could go out and refit your fleet 3 or 4 times a night and try and outdo somebody. It'd be brilliant fun.
Yeah.
You know, you could get back to FEFing again, that sort of stuff, and go, oh man, he got me. Right, let me nip back, quick fix on my fleet, and I'm back out again, and let's crack on. You know, it just I don't know. I think they're really missing some really important tricks, and that I think would really bring some fun back in the game. But going and dying, particularly with sniping and losing a fleet for 15 hours and that sort of stuff, you know, or wanting to change out just like, you know, oh, I'm changing from Gale 3 to Gale 4. And it costs you like, you know, freaking 6 or 8 hours and a good hour plus just to take the darn thing off is ridiculous for me. But yeah, anyway, it's full of whinging tonight. But that's, you know, we're getting to that stage where I'm frustrated, let alone on the flipping, you know, the event that happened last weekend. And I'm really annoyed that the communication is not as good as it could be in some areas. Seems to be a bit out of sync, I think, personally. But anyway. Right. Come on, let's move forward then. Raiding. Okay, so we're number 2 of the skirmish set. Okay, we noticed then that points are even. I've tested it. You know, we're still getting exactly what we said. So if you're going to get your 2 million, 2.5 million, you are actually getting the 2.5 million. If it says 600k, you're actually getting that. So well done, Kicks. That's great. 2 months in a row now, you're actually getting what you said you're going to be awarded. So I like that. That's a good positive, you know. I don't like the damage dial thing that they keep doing. You know, I don't know why they can't set it up before we even start. Or you must know what we've been fitting on our ships because you've got the metrics. So I don't see why you have to go jiggling it around, you know, in the first few hours to try and find it. So your, you know, the points that we get based off the return that you get is adjusted halfway through because, you know, Hefe is a classic example there. Makes a start in the game. In the event sort of thing, going, geez, I'm getting too much damage, does a refit, and then he's just back to where he started off again. It's flipping nuts. But tell me about your raids anyway. Gee, Daddy, what about you, mate? Where are you two? How are we getting on? I know you're a 0 non-coiner sort of stuff. You know, what sort of fleet you got, mate, and what are you hitting?
Well, I won some tokens in the one at TLC's last month, and
cool.
Full Tide Seeker fleet refit what I needed to do on it. Got a good build actually from Ren off TFC page, so yeah, I used that one.
Yeah, he did that last one. Yeah, because that was the sort of like event that was in last month, wasn't it? And he managed to get together quite a good little fleet. I watched his videos. It was quite surprising. And there's a couple of other videos out now with people that have had some. Okay, it's not Tide Seekers of old. It's not the 4-year-old Tide Seeker. Sorry, 3-year-old Tide Seeker and that sort of stuff. But with some slightly modern tech on it, that fleet's coming all right, isn't it? To be honest, seems to be.
Yeah, it's doing okay. I've been autoing 41s with it and just taking it back in dock and dock repairing as we do.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did the TLC again this month and bought another 5 more. So I've got 10 doing that now. So that's like 2 41s I'm doing. And then I've got my 3 protos that I've built and doing another 41 with that on auto. That's instant map repair.
The Prototide, yeah?
Yeah, Prototide. And then I've got a fleet of bats with normal flag, but only 4 altogether, not the 5th ship. And that's auto in 41s as well for instant map repair. And
that's a 70k, isn't it? Because it's like 40k plus the 30 bonus, isn't it? And there's no hit down problems, is there? So
yeah. Well, I'm doing that in the beginning, but then I decided to try a 61 with that fleet, and it autos the 61, the 63, and the 65 as well for 52 minutes repair, I think, something like that. And so I'm just alternating repairing in docks and hitting fleets outside and
okay.
Doing it that way. But if you give me 2 seconds while my dragon's left and loading up.
Okay, mate. Why are you just saying that? JMS. Hello, buddy. How are you?
I'm all right.
Oh, now I know who it is. That's a funny login.
Yeah, I couldn't remember the password for the other one, so I had to use my other Google.
Okay, right, young lady. How is your weekend?
Doing fairly decent.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Have you seen that someone's got like 1.9 billion points or something?
Yeah.
I mean, that's not you, is it? Please tell me.
No,
No, it's not.
5.
Oh, has it gone up? Is it now? Is it 2.5?
2.5 billion. Bobby or someone.
Do you know what? Unless and if it's a genuine player, okay, but it really screws the metrics for everybody else. And it's just like, hello, you know.
I'm not doing too bad.
Where are you up to, young lady? Go on.
683 million.
Okay.
Wow.
Is there anything else that you can't get or whatever? You must be well over the limit of getting things.
I still got stuff.
There's still some stuff you can collect. I can't imagine how.
Yeah.
Wow.
From that new stuff that they added the other day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I've been grabbing is the new stuff.
Yeah, of course. They've added another 14 or so items in, yeah, which is a bit sneaky now. They sort of get to day one, they go, oh, look, everyone's finding it easy, or they're just going to spend crazy. So let's add another 14 items that are, most of them limited. So, you know, it makes them feel that they have to have them. So, yeah, do you know what? It's not the way I like to conduct my game, but you know, it seems to work for them, and they're getting a bigger income, so it keeps the game alive, I suppose. But it's an odd way of doing the metrics. So you're doing 600 million. That's not bad. That's probably 6 times more than what I've got. But I'm going a bit slow tonight. So hey Benji, how you doing, mate?
Hey, good. How about you guys?
Yeah, fine, mate. How are you getting on raid wise?
Just before you continue, TSM, I'm on about 70 million so far.
You're on 70?
Yeah, 70 million.
Wow, well done, mate. That's pretty impressive. I think you've just been hitting 41s basically in a couple of the 60s.
Yeah, a full 60 set. I did a last night as well when just before I went to bed. I did a fleet night kill. Night kill for.
Oh right, yeah.
Night, yeah. I did a 7 sets of these on auto right the way through until it was almost dead. And then just
overnight fixed it.
Yeah, 6.5 hours. I think it was.
Wow, flipping heck. Do you know what I like this time? I have to say, for those that are hitting the 80 sets, you know, if you can find a sweet spot one, I know you get about 450k bonus and that sort of stuff, but some people are finding a couple of targets really hard. But at least this time, unlike the 60s, you know, they're all 600k each one. So if you can find one that you can either drive or auto, even better, you know, and it fits your needs best, you know, then sometimes it's just better to find that sweet spot target. Like I did in the last raid series, and I found a 63, I think it was, that was great for Skyfires and instant fix on the water, you know. And just keep rinse, repeat, you know, and it's really, really fast to do that way. But yeah, I mean, I've noticed that like a good set of prototypes this time can actually auto and fix on the fleet, fix on the water, like for all 3 targets. And you don't have to dock at all. So, you know, you can do other things with your main fleet and keep if you've got prototypes, you can just keep going on the 60s as well, which is not a huge amount of points, but it helps, you know. But yeah, anyway, Ozzy, how about you, mate? Where are you two?
I'm on 543.
Wow, that's a lot as well, isn't it? Blimey.
But yeah, I've gone down to hitting just the 100s though, so I've slowed down.
Yeah, I hit, I think, 1 set tonight or early on tonight because I thought to myself, well, I'm doing this now for an hour or so and that sort of stuff. So by the time I get back on, which is probably about 2 hours time, then my fleet would have fixed and that stuff. So I'll probably just go and kill it off again. But today, you know, you can almost do 100, and I know a couple of people were. You can almost do 100 and take the fleet apart, and with a couple of minutes spare, you can go back and fix in your base sort of stuff for nothing. So
yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm just going back and instant repairing and splitting them.
Yeah, it's like 8 minutes of damage or whatever.
Yeah, roughly about that. Yeah, just a couple of minutes on each one sort of stuff. So yeah. And I noticed that with I mean, that was nice is obviously the prototypes you can grab the 60s because res is always a bit tight on this raid set. So the prototypes you can fix on the water, so it's not really burning off res, but then you can just go back dock. Especially if you've got it in slot 1 or 2, it's really easy just to launch them straight back again and go straight into another target. So that's
and also they collect a lot more res than our ships do.
Yeah, I don't know why I don't know why. I suppose it's because it started off on subs, didn't it? Skirmish was always submarines right back in the early days. You know, the first one wasn't it? It was the Pred subs and that sort of stuff. But yeah, and it's never been decent.
Well, the prototypes are though. They're skirmish. But
yeah, and they collect a reasonable amount. I'm not saying I mean nowhere along the lines of the the garrison fleets and that sort of stuff. But it is. I'm just laughing in sidebar chat. Forge Strike trying to encourage Miranda to come online, which I think is quite funny. Poor lady. She's just dropped in, literally. He's trying to be sneaky. There we go. It might work. We never know. Anyway, yeah. So you're at 5. So we've got some pretty high rolling people at the moment. Geordie, where are you, mate? Roughly?
I'm sat at about 160. I've got the bulk of what I need. So
yeah.
I'm just chipping away for a few last bits and bobs while I help people prepping and stuff.
Hefe, did you catch that? Bits and bobs.
Yeah, look at that. It's contagious.
Fellow Brit, collecting bits and bobs. There you go. You see. That's cool. Hefe, where are you, mate, in your raid anyway? How many points you at roughly? Have you got
like 130, 140, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Yeah, I actually don't know where I am.
I've mostly been. If I eventually start hitting the 106, I don't because I got a bunch of 104s stacked, but I don't really know that I. Has anybody seen a home for the 106 special?
No.
Okay, yeah, that's why I haven't been bothering with it because like I said, I'm getting 8 minutes on a 100, and just take it in there, and I don't even need to break it completely apart. Just take a couple ships off, instant repair, and then put those 2 ships back on, instant repair, and back out on the water. So the 104 special I do like, but I'm not sure. It seems like it's varied. Geordie doesn't see as much use in it as I do, but I find that's a useful one if you want to create sort of a countermeasure ship, at least from what I can tell.
No, that's what I've got on me.
Yeah.
Have you got it on already? Have you?
Yeah.
Check you. Hello, Rainer.
I planned my builds. I had 5 bat rays, but I stopped fitting the 5th one to build the flagship.
Yeah.
But when it came out, just 2 or 3 days before the raid, I had one with 4 weapon slots and not all the specials, so I was able to just finish it off using the tokens. And my raid was also made easier that I paired up with an ally mate who he's got the razors, so he did the 106s and I did the 104s, and then we finished off for each other, so it was a lot easier.
Oh, that's great. Oh, interestingly, one of my lads spawns in the sidebar chat. He says I'm 80 million. There you go. So that's where I am. And I'm only just picking up the absolute basics that I want. So, yeah. Raina, hello, young lady. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I've been a lot worse. How is your weekend?
Well, I just woke up from a nap, so right now it's okay.
It's not quite where I was going, but I've just woke up from a nap. You sound like a nanny nap person now.
I have 170 million.
Wow. Okay. Have you been mostly using the app? Because I knew you wanted to do a lot of auto and that sort of stuff, didn't you?
I could not auto.
Yes, I know, and that's why I sort of brought it up. So tell me your experiences in the 104 and particularly the 106. Not gone for good?
So the Grease Monkey helped a little bit. I've run 2 of those. I was thankful for having 14 of them stacked up before the raid. I'm not thrilled with this raid, but I'm at 170. I think I'm pretty much done, but a chunk of that came from autoing 102s. So.
Do you remember going back to the Manticore raid series and when they were bringing all these single holes in, that sort of stuff? Okay, now we've gone to 2 holes, and they went, "Don't worry, all the things that come in the 2nd or the 3rd event, they're not better. It's not escalation. It's just a linear thing. You could go left or right a little bit, but it won't matter." Doesn't seem to be the case, does it?
Yeah, I also remember them saying that auto players would still be able to auto and drivers would still be able to drive. But auto, I expect to take slightly more damage, but I don't expect to lose my entire fleet without doing an entire set, which was my first experience this raid.
Which absolutely null and voids the BP app, doesn't it?
Yep, exactly. Yeah, and there's a lot of people who play through that app. So
No, there is. Yeah, I have been. I have to say, the last couple of days, taking advantage of use it, but I've had to go right down to the 60s, which is almost embarrassing when you think about it. If you want to get quite a few through,
Right.
I could do some 80s, but sometimes you do need to keep an eye on the 80 sets. But so I'm down to hitting 60s. I think to myself, yeah, that's nice. I invested in that flagship, and it has got the latest armors. I sort of showed it on the show in the week, and in fact in the warm up stream. So I've got some good kit on there. Yet I haven't put the stuff on from last week's non-event, if you know what I mean. Because on principle, I'm not, because you shouldn't have had to have done that event to do well in this weekend. So.
Well, and so I was actually more frustrated because I had actually refit throughout the week, and I had an anti-torp and a Gale 4 on all 5 of my boats when it died in that auto set. So that's part of why I was so frustrated. So what I've discovered is if you don't have like that dedicated CM ship with the countermeasure specials, you're pretty much screwed, for lack of a better term, for autoing. So,
and it seems to be the flagship again, isn't it? And yet hitting the 100 and hitting the 102, going back to last month's target, the damage seems pretty even across the board, I noticed. Hitting the 80s, the damage seemed pretty even across the board. Go anywhere near the 106 target, and hey, see you later. Your flagship's dead, and you've also got about 3 hours damage for one target, and it's just nuts.
Yeah, it's I'm not a huge fan of the tuning on these new targets. Most of my damage seems to be coming from the projectiles, from the mortar projectiles. So if your antis aren't shooting those down when you're autoing, then yeah, you're not making it through those targets. So it
getting
took
in the ice field,
it took watching a few of them pretty close to figure out where the damage was coming from and why the auto wasn't working. But I've got it now where I autoed a set before my nap today, and it was 8 coins with no grease monkey. So I guess that's doable. I mean, that's 10 million for 8 coins.
Yeah, I'm still. The thing is, I still there's not a huge amount you need, but they've sort of like let some stuff out now. That old 1 coin per million stuff is dead in the war, isn't it? Sort of stuff, but. It's and they've, I don't know, it's difficult. Normally you should say, like, if it costs you $5 to get the ship, the special, and the weapon, then that's a reasonable raid. And if it costs you $10, you've done something slightly wrong. Now there's no way of even computing that anymore, because they all of a sudden they let some things into the raid and they go, right, these are the raid prizes, that sort of stuff, and then again for another month they've gone, oh, and here's a second set of prizes. So it really skews your head up. Like, right now, so where the bloody hell am I now? I'm a bit lost.
Well, that's because we have people like Ricky Bobby who are at 2.5 million or billion
points,
billion, halfway through the raid. I mean, they see that and they say, oh, he's not going to have anything to spend his points on. Let's throw more content in. Which, back when raids were reasonable for everything and the cost was reasonable, I was okay with that. But
I don't know. I mean, I have no issue with people getting as many points as they see fit, but almost like that top 50 in the whole game should be like scraped from the average Joe players, and then work out what average Joe can get afterwards.
Right.
Because even at 2.5 billion, probably 1.5 billion, or maybe $1 billion, there's probably nothing else you can get at that sort of level, surely.
I would think so.
I mean,
I didn't do the math, but I would think so.
Well, put it this way: if there's that much content in there for 2.5 billion, then that's not just this is always going to be a weird series anyway. Next month we're now already thinking about the new hole for the next raid series, which is straight into one of my sort of favorite ones, really, because it's Siege.
Right.
And you can hopefully drive well, and we'll see. And you can get away with a lot of, mitigating a lot of damage in the siege raids targets normally if you drive well and that sort of stuff. Unless they're going to do what they've done, with the mantis, and no matter what you do, you're taking damage anyway. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll just see how it goes.
Yeah, boom! Yay! He's a comedian. Cheers, mate.
No worries. I was waiting to get that in.
That's almost like feeding you a line, mate, and then it's there, isn't it? So,
all right, I just did a quick calculation.
Go on, bud.
You've got all the new stuff, the original new stuff.
Yeah.
The Bat Ray, the Razor tokens. I'm not talking about agility, Gale 3s, hydraulic resistors. interdictors, not them either.
Mhm.
And then you got the Hyper 30, the missile defense, the 2 new armors that they've thrown in, the tactical focus that you can get one of, the armors, the new armors they've thrown in.
Yeah.
836 million.
So
Yeah, I'm not going
836.
to get
So,
that.
so
just
that's
saying-
the maximum possible, yeah?
Yeah, unless you're going to go, you can throw a reverend. Actually, no, that was adding 2 reverends in there as well. Hang on, I'll take that out a sec.
Yeah, you can get way more than that.
820. Yeah, but what I'm saying is it's just the new stuff.
All
The
right.
original new stuff, the bat ray tokens, both lots, and all the others, pretty much all the stuff they just added. 820 million.
All right, so now I know my goal.
That's just nuts, isn't it?
Yeah. That's not the research tokens. They're only little anyway. It's just the new stuff that you really need. Or want, whatever.
Right,
So
come on then.
2.5 billion.
Yeah.
Going to have over $1 billion left, $1.5 billion so far.
Let's just hope he's prepping for lots of people.
Yeah, I don't think so. If he's prepping, then he's doing really well.
Very fast.
Because
Yeah,
you got to
exactly.
remember, you're only getting half that. You're not getting that. You're not getting that
Yeah.
5 million bonus. So if you're only getting 5 million, so you're halving that. You're doing a hell of a lot of targets to do that.
Radio. Right. Just quickly. So I haven't done this on purpose. That's why it's not showing you the colors and the percentages. So I'm going to do it now. Okay. So this is that, Rainer, you went on when we did. So we had a little chat about this. The final 4. Tell me what you hate the most about BP. So sidebar chat. I'll let you catch up a little bit. Right. Tell me what I should vote for as a collective. I want to know. Okay, then, is it repair time? Is it? What do you think's the top one? Don't go looking on the forums now because that's cheating. Okay. Repair time, refit time. We've already said how to fix that. That's like stop charging us for taking things on. If we built it already, stop charging us for building it again. It's freaking ridiculous. So that really shouldn't exist. The number of chores we're doing, the whole build time, that sort of. Nah, I don't think so. To be honest, this latest Apollo flipping hole is only 10 hours, that sort of stuff. So anyway, but yeah, building and upgrade times, and content overload. Where should we be? You tell me where I should. Go on, sidebar chat. Smash it. Tell me where I should go. Ozzy, where would you have gone in this?
Hey, what? Hang on.
Yeah. So what do you hate the most, mate? Do you hate repair times, refit times, all the chores?
Repair times.
Repair times.
I'm probably second with bit chores.
Repair times stop you playing. Because if you look in your toolbox and all of a sudden, you made your screwdriver dirty and it takes 15 hours to clean it, you can't use it again. But you can go and buy another one and coin it if you really want to. But the thing is, it needs fixing. This new, the one you've already got needs fixing for so long. But if you could just wipe it down in 10 minutes and then just get back out there again, you'd be able to do more jobs, wouldn't you? And it's the same thing in the game. If it was quick to repair, you could go out and play more and actually have a bit more fun. So, the 16 hours could be taken down to 6 hours or 4 hours or, why can't a fleet just be maximum repair time 1 hour? Done. That's it. You could have 50 battles a night, couldn't you? You could just go have a right laugh, as we used to.
Probably get more people coining.
We'd have more people on for longer in the game doing stuff, I think, personally.
It's only 2 coins to fix it. People go, it's only 2 coins. I'll do that. But then they look at it and go, 30 coins? I ain't repairing for 30 coins.
Well,
I'll never repair a fleet that cost me 30 coins.
They'd still have to be repairing their chore fleets and ploughing through that to find the time to do the PvP, wouldn't they?
Yeah, but I mean, that's why I said do what we do in exactly in the bounty events. It's just, why are they turning off the option to have 2 repeats, fleets repairing at a time? Let's have a repair queue for the PvP. Let's have a repair queue for the the PvE. One can't interfere with the other sort of stuff, and then you can just fix both at the same time, and both of them take 2 hours each maximum. That's it, done.
Makes perfect sense.
You'd have so much content going on; it would be amazing. Anyway, I don't know. It just grips me. Right, let me just scroll back up. Come on, what are we going for then, people? Let's have a look. G Daddy, are you back yet, mate?
Yeah, I'm back.
So for you, it must be repair time, surely.
Yeah, it's repair time. Yeah,
I was going to say, for the non-coiner or low coiner, it's got to be repair times, because that's what kills Brian every time. He gets so frustrated with it. He's a good builder. He knows his math and that sort of stuff. It's just that he can't stay on long enough to get anything really worthwhile sometimes because the repair times are so horrendous.
Yeah, going back to what you said, I think they should put 2 repair queues out, whether it's PvE you use or whether it's PvP you use. You should have 2 queues for each.
Well, yes. I don't know what you think. Look, I'm not saying I'm jumping on. I know, and sometimes I like to play devil's advocate, but I do think sometimes that if you want to repair a second fleet of the same type, then you should then say, right, that's going above the standard sort of player base, and then you should maybe pay a little premium for doing that sort of thing. Almost like the expeditions, like going to first level and then going to next tier sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But if you could just go out and say, right, I've got 2 hours of PvP repair, I can either go out and get that guy back because he's really annoyed me. I want to go and smash all his alliance mates, and it's two. Rainer likes that idea,
Who would do that?
I can't imagine me with a beer like I did last weekend. But yeah, or you can go, right, it's 2 hours switching. I'm going to go do a bit of FM, and I'll go and do a bit of FM for a couple of hours, that sort of stuff, and I'll wait for that fleet to fix. That would be great, and you could switch fire between PvBing and PvPing and that sort of stuff. And it would. I think if you were to really dial back on the PvP repair, far more people would do it. I think that's what's killed the game off more than anything else. It's not the technicality of the builds, it's not the number of ships, that stuff. It's the fixed times.
Your time to do PvP really and going smashing bases is in Bounty, and that is. I know, like you say, you backing Kit's eye up. Yeah, Bounty is a way to do everything at half price, really.
Well, I only last bounty I hit nothing but I did. That's not true because I did test some of the targets, but then I hit nothing but bases, and I had an absolute scream. And it wasn't actually expensive, to be honest, because they're quite a quick. Witch doctors and that sort of stuff for a couple of support ships are quite quick to fix.
Yeah, exactly.
If you build them right, and I was having a right scream.
Queues as well, aren't you, in that? So you can repair 2 fleets at the same time, can't you?
Yeah, and that's nice, isn't it? It did make me good. Anyway, Geordie, what about you, mate? Where do you sit yourself in this thing? Are you repairing or refits or everything above? I don't know.
No, as I said before, I went for content overload, and that was if I was voting just for me, it would be repair times. But if I'm voting for improving the game overall, I think by changing the content overload, you affect more of the areas mentioned above for a more general improvement.
You do. I don't like long build times, I must admit, like I said, but and I'll keep harping on about it. If you don't charge us to switch things out that we've already built, then that's a goner, So, and I don't mind paying a little bit. I wouldn't mind if the new hull was like a, so long as you can get them all out as long as you get most of them out with all the VXP tokens with all the build tokens you can get in 1FM, and let's just say the 5th one, you would have to say spend 10 coin. So that you had it out for the VXP weekend, so you could get them ranked. So it does cost you a little bit to get ahead, but by getting ahead, there's a benefit, i.e. you've got the 5th hull. Okay, so that's great. So they're going to get a bit of return for having those ships out on time for you to go and get them ranked, no problem at all. And then literally, you can then fit them out as soon as they're VXP'd because you've got everything already prepped, the missiles and that sort of stuff from PvP, or you've got blooming Gatling guns, whatever that stuff, and all you got to do then is put on the new specials. Or a new armor and that sort of stuff. And literally, you can just go out and play with them straight away. You didn't like it. Oh, I made a mistake there. Wrong countermeasure. Get back in, switch it to this countermeasure, straight back out again. Literally, bang, 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 job done. There are plenty of freaking games that are pay-per play, as this one's is, or free to play, but pay to win. There are plenty of games out there that do that. And, don't charge Earth for the battles and that sort of stuff. So, it's not as if it's a broken mechanic that doesn't exist. I know plenty of games, and there are a couple that I've still got on my system that are still going strong, and they've done that for the last 10 years. So I don't see why we can't do that. I know the player base is down in quantity, but personally, I think that's their own fault, some of it.
Yeah, without shadow of a doubt.
But yeah, Hefe, are you back, mate?
Yeah, I'm here.
Well, it has been for a long time. Where do you sit? Are you you're a Mard sort of coiner. I know you are, and a bit like me.
Yes. I don't really like any of these categories because I think they're all linked. I think I would go with lack of transparency and a consistent vision. But I don't think I put that up there.
Yeah.
But if I was going to pick, probably repair time would probably be the easiest one to go with. But yeah, it's complicated. It's
more than the sum of the parts, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. yeah. It's more than just one individual category because they're not going to. It wouldn't make sense for them to fix one at a time. I mean, I don't really understand the point of the poll because they're, except for maybe to show these are all issues, or maybe they do one of those Survey Monkey things and put these out there. And how would you rank them from,
So
X
if
to
I'm
Y,
if I'm wrong,
or Y to Z, or whatever you guys say.
Wasn't this this is the third follow-on from the original one that Laredo was asked to put out to say, what do you think's wrong with the game? And then he was told to put out a poll, and then several things came back, and then they streamlined it down to 8 or 9 things, and this is the third iteration of that, and they've streamed it down.
Well, the first one that Laredo was asked to put out was purely with sniping, and then there's been 2 that were put out by Just Mike, and this is
the secondary one, because he put some things together, like repair and refit or something together, I think it was, or something like that.
Yeah, there's some weird combos that were going on there that didn't make a lot of sense. But yeah, I mean, it's and build time, like, I don't know, we talked about it for a little bit, but the idea of build and refit time is that could be fixed in other ways. Because I was talking about, if you take an example of, which I want to get to, which I think is the real elephant in the room, is the Proto Apollo.
We're getting there to finish off with, mate. That's where we're going in a minute.
But if you take a look at it, you have a 10-hour haul build time, and then
16 days,
16-day build. So about 2 to 3% of your time is spent building the haul, while the other 98% is the components.
Mm-hmm.
And since we don't, when we start a new raid cycle, or even when we hit a raid, we don't know what, we don't get a lot of good intelligence besides some sort of /dash video of pick your, your playing style. And I still have no idea after watching that video a bunch of times. And
no, this time I don't. They didn't even. There wasn't actually an apples for apples comparison on that video, was it? The ships are going in different locations. It's not as if they tried to do the same pathing, and then you just go, oh yeah, it did that and it did that. So, it was a bit.
And it never showed any of the special abilities. It was, we didn't have a good idea. So there's a lot of, I don't know, fear is the right word, but trepidation when you put a build together, because that's, the components that you put on there that can make or break what you do are the vast majority of it. So if let's say that was flipped. So most of your time was associated with building the hull, and then it was much, much, much faster to put the components on, change your armor and whatnot. I don't say flip them exactly, but put thought to that, because then it's more of a strategy game. Right now, it's more of a guessing game.
Yeah, but the scare tactics is everyone wants to get, obviously, VXP following literally 5 days after the raid. Everyone wants to get those hulls out. So they're doing that to say, well, you can build it for 10.
I would also change that. I would make VXP much more, much more accessible, or
more fluid, yeah.
Or just eliminate it. Just eliminate VXP, because it's all based on a mistake. They didn't quite realize the calculation that was going on. And it took them a while to figure it out, and that was only a little while after they pushed it up to 75.
The 75 equals 200% bit. Yeah.
Or 400%.
Yeah. Or once it's all done, it's ludicrous, isn't it? When you think about it.
Of course.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that I'm not disagreeing with your point, but the financial consideration for the company is, especially with these proto hulls, anybody now could have skipped building the proto tides and have a better performing fleet in the back rate. So if you brought the hull times up, you hit everybody gets hit because they choose a hull. But hit some people once, whereas if you're using the components as the charging factor to add the time, everybody's going to use the components for the cycle, despite what hull they pick. You see what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get you, mate.
So if I don't build the Apollos, they only lose 40 hours of build time from me. But if I start using which you will do, the components, that's going to add my build time up. So it gives them the chance, right or wrongly, to hit everybody with a price point, whether they're going to either coin or not.
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, you don't need the proto polos. As simple as that. You don't need them. The manticores are there. The map targets are there. The map target should be geared towards a tuned down version of the manticore raid series and that sort of stuff. And whatever's coming in the third quarter of the the SSRB, it shouldn't be anything better than being able to use 2 fleets of manties well and do okay, or use the prototypes and it does better. If let's just say 2 people going there combined with 2 manti fleets and they get half damage each, then basically the prototype going in there, it should be able to get it in there for just over sort of like I don't know, say 2/5 damage or something like that. That makes it justifiable building it, because it is almost like 16 days per ship, and we still don't know what's coming in the FM yet. There might be some other specials to fit this thing. Generically, I've noticed though that if you look at Proto Centurion and you look at obviously the Proto Tides, there are no flagships, which is nice for a change. Although standard Apollos there was, and standard Centurion there was, and Tideseeker there was. So I'm not too worried, and I'm going to build the Proto Apollos because I like to be able to see, and I was probably one of the first people that built the Proto Tides as well, and Centurions in fact. I quite like messing around the PvP stuff, and I've only got literally probably 8 ships for I like messing around the PvE. I've only got about 8 ships for PvP, because I got, out of that unfortunate arena because hitting bases to me got very, very boring and repetitive because they all started looking the same, and B, the changes in the way the content was coming out at that time, it just got nuts. So I just decided to opt out of it personally. So I've driven my game in a different area. So I will go for prototypes. Which we'll have a look at in a second. So going back to this quickly, what I'm sharing the screen now. So we're all agreeing then, based off sidebar chat, that it's repair times. Is that generally it?
Pretty much.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a general consensus. Right, let's hit repair times then, and let's vote, and let's just see what the general public is saying. Boom. Well, there we go. Okay. So nearly half of the poll, people that have polled on this here. I thought more people had polled for that. It's interesting. There's not many people actually polling. 500 votes, nearly 474 anyway. But of those people that have gone in there, then 48% are saying repair times. Okay, so there's a clear message.
I think the last survey had more, but I don't think most people realized that a new one was put out, because I sure didn't. I accidentally
Okay.
across it, and I was like, "Well, I already voted for build or for refit and repair time. Why is my vote not showing?" I didn't realize there was a new survey out.
Yeah, so literally at the very, very top of it, he literally just said then overwhelming that basically repair and refit should be split up. So they've took out bacon because that wasn't high. Basically looked at the top 6 things and they split one out. So that refit repair time thingy and build times, they've split them down. So
yeah, well, I had to tell my alley, the alley I'm in, I had to tell them that there was a new poll. They didn't know there was one.
yeah, see, why isn't that at the top of the game then? As you log in, I don't know.
They didn't know, and as soon as I told them, they went over and voted.
Yeah. Listen, I mean, see Devil Dogs there. They introduced a project poll when I read my shipyard. Do your shipyard, mate. Don't worry about this stupid thing, to be honest, because you've got your manticores. I take it you have, and if not, even the lowest one, Skyfire or something along, or the Phoenixes that are a little bit souped up, they should still be able to go and do the new, real basic one to get titanium. They can't rule it out because it worked fine last time, because not everyone's going to have the manticores. What if you join the game late? That means you can't get titanium. So there must still be out there to get, and expeditions as well is the other way. So
Still do expeditions with Apollos.
yeah, exactly. So there are other ways. Don't think that this is almost like the mega ship. I find the Proto series is almost like a mega ship. Take it or leave it. You don't need to have it. It's an addition to the game. I just like building the Protos because I think it's interesting. That's a little challenge to myself. Can I knock 5 minutes off here and knock 5 minutes off there? And if I don't want to take part in a raid sort of thing, I'll go and, in the middle of the week, do some SSRBs and that sort of stuff. And went, oh yeah, that path's a little bit more interesting, and I'll add this to the ship and I'll do some other stuff. But that's just the way I like playing it. But you don't need any of the fleets. You don't need any Proto fleets whatsoever. Sorry, go on.
I've noticed something with the subsectors. When you do the skirmish side for the uranium,
Yeah.
they're paying 130K in uranium. Now they're only paying 65.
No,
Ooh,
that's
are
if
they?
there's 2 people in there.
Any
If
clue?
there's 2 people,
They
there's two
knocked
people
that down.
if there's
It's-
2 people in there, it's 65, and then it's
Yeah,
130.
Yeah, if you do it solo,
I'm leaving it 65.
You're solo and you're only getting 65.
Yes.
Ooh.
I don't know. I was doing it right before the raid. We filled up on uranium before they turned it off for raid, and I was getting 65 paired up with somebody. So I can try it.
65 each.
We'll have to check that as soon as the raid finishes. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, because what I do is I'll prep them and leave the gate, and I'll back out and then have them kill the gate, and I shouldn't get nothing for it. And that's they were getting 130K prior. Now they're only getting 65.
Well, that's different. That is 2 people having been in, though, isn't it? It's not a case of 1 person only getting 65.
Yeah, are you getting the 65 still from you?
No, I wasn't getting nothing.
That's a bit
scary.
scary.
Because you left early, though.
Were you full?
Yeah. So I did hear one of my people sent in a ticket, and they did say that there is a damage requirement in the SSRBs now, kind of like we used to have to do in the DRAC bases to qualify.
Right.
That you had to do like 5% damage, and just a gate didn't qualify for that. So I don't know if that has something to do with it or not. But one of my people did get that ticket response a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
You can't sit in and just hit the gate and get your qualifier for OP research now either.
You can't. All right.
I
That's
tried
annoying.
one of my ally last week. Hit 2 of them, and they still had the qualifier and required kill 2 SSRB skirmish side.
That's crazy because the quantifying sort of like defining point to get as it used to be, the targets were so much easier. Exactly. You know. And now SSRBs are goddamn hard. There's no doubt about it. You know, for people that haven't got the top-notch fleets, you know, in PvE in that area, they aren't easy at all. A good raid fleet doesn't do it. Okay, I mean, I did manage to do the siege one with a set of Hydras, but it was pretty funked up set of Hydras. You know, I haven't dared try it with anything like, you know, what I have. You know, sort of. You know, anything but proto tides makes a mess in there, to be honest. Apart from now, the latest, you know, bat raids, they do very, very well, I have to say. But they've only just come out, haven't they? So, what do we do? Wait till next year for the, you know, if you're not going to use proto tides? It's a bit naughty, I think, to be honest. So, yeah, to get that, you know, level up to the level 30 for obviously, you know, it's it's a bit of a stinker, to be honest. Yeah. Anyway. Let's, if you wouldn't mind, let's just talk about this last little bit I want to do before we knock it on the head at 1 hour, sort of like 30 if I can. And that's the Apollo. So am I still building? Yes, I am. I've got 20 minutes left on this one here. So let's look at the shipyard. And I have just finished upgrading my shipyard. So these came out about 10 hours and a bit, I think it was, with an officer, roughly. There's no point ticking the export button because at the end of the day, I don't think you get much benefit out of it. I don't know if you do, I don't know if you don't, but they did said you wouldn't get a great deal out of it if you were doing brand new ships. So I looked at this thing here, and like you said, you know, if it's 10 hours to build it, and then you go into design mode, and I'm not saying this is the build and that sort of stuff. I'm just giving an example. Look, so if you were to sort of like consider, you know, what's usable and what's not usable in this thing, so that's taking off the 10 hours. Look, you're still talking 16 hours. Sorry, 16 days and 10 hours per ship. God damn, that's a long time building, isn't it?
What is it with the expert build checked?
It probably won't let me do it now, to be honest. No, it won't let me do it. Oh, yes, it will. Oh, hang on. It's 13 days, yeah.
Yeah, so...
but I'd have to wait 13 days now before one ship comes out, and I want to get them all ranked at the VXP weekend.
Well, yeah, but the whole point of the expert builds is they want you to coin it.
It ain't never happening, sorry. Let me clear that, and let's put that. Okay, so expert build, it's 8 hours. Well, I don't care about a couple of hours. 10 hours, 8 hours, whoopie-do. Okay, I suppose I could do one before I go to work and then one when I come home. So, yeah, I can see that.
What I'm shocked about is the fact that the expert build actually works for it, because...
And it ranks it a bit, so that actually I should... Yeah.
Much like you said, they said that the expert builds weren't going to be available for new tech. So I'm a little shocked that it is.
So you're up to the 1-star as well.
It was like a standalone ship, and that's the reason they allowed it. I don't know. They're making up their own rules with that. But yeah, because there was some comment about it being a standalone ship, and therefore it applied immediately.
So, okay, so live in the game then, and I'll probably shoot myself in the foot here, but I'm probably going to go recycle the other 2, just so they're all balanced. But if you click expert, then for 100K of uranium, basically, and a bit, what, another 100 on each of the, yeah, it is about another 100. It is exactly 100 on each one of the reses. okay, in fact, I couldn't have done it because look, I'm only at 211 on res. Then you're going to get obviously up to the 1 star, which is nothing. In fact, I won't recycle. Okay, it's only 1 star. But you are dropping down then obviously a couple of hours of build time. So if you haven't started at all, then it's probably worth doing as long as you're stacked up over here on res and obviously uranium and that sort of things. So, but yeah, it's interesting. And then, as they always freaking do, the other bit that really sort of like I find interesting in the game these days, you know, let's sell you the world. So here we have it, you know, so they know it's costing around 16 days to build the darn things. And what are they going to do? Lo and behold, here you go. Look, buy a gazillion tokens for a ship that's literally just come out. It's just nuts, isn't it? So you can literally get, you know, 3-day build tokens times 5. Okay, so there's 15 days and it's 20. That's pounds English. Okay. And you can do that 5 times. Spooky that. That's a full fleet, isn't it? And you can't even use it yet because you can't even get the SSRBs, you know. Or you can go to offer 2 then. You can have 30 days worth of 1-day build tokens then for £40 English, you know. So I was like, yeah, right, okay. I ain't doing that.
When's the last time anybody heard Kicksign mention the 3rd leg of the SSRB?
That's the prototype seeker, that one though. Yeah.
That's prototypes, yeah. That's proto Apollos, yeah.
The last mention, I swear I heard of it. They said that it wasn't going to be coming out because it was kind of a not friendly portion of the game, I swear. And it was right around the time that Chris took over on messaging. I'd love to be able to find that, but I thought we heard of it for a long time.
I remember Wrong Thinker talking about it on a BP Live at one point, but yeah.
That's exactly where I heard it, F, and he said that would be the last leg, and there'd be no more.
And there'd be no more. That was it. Yeah, they wouldn't do the the garrison one. Yeah,
yeah. But do you think it's odd? It hasn't come up in months.
Yeah, you know, fair point actually.
And it's not in the diary even.
Yeah.
No, it's not, is it? No, you're right. And I just thought it was a bit interesting. I just thought it's funny. You know, it's funny how they go. It's a little bit like actually in the where's one of the offers? Hang on. So everyone was complaining, and on our page, there we go. Whoa. Let's get back Hyper 30. So there they are. Okay.
Sorry, Jason, but if you look at it logically, all those items in that store there are for you to do the SSRBs.
Yeah, some of it is and some of it isn't. You know, some of the items in there. There's some armors in there which are purely going to be really, really good. On some of your other ships, I'm not going to say which ones, but some other ships, and you'll do really, really well using some of them. You know, the Hyper 30, which people love to use for PvP, brilliant special and that sort of stuff. People were saying, well, where is it? And then all of a sudden it popped up, and people go, right, I'll go and coin it now straight away. And all of a sudden, lo and behold, it's now a prize also in the freaking raid in that 2nd drop series now. So you know, some people could be pretty miffed by that. Because they've used up a lot of their coins, all of a sudden now and then they're not struggling to get points, and they have plenty of time, and they could have actually got them for free, you know, by just investing time. I know coin is time, and time is, you know, is a reality and that sort of stuff, but a bit naughty. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, if Mate Boy out there has got his 2-point-something billion, and he went, oh, I could do with some Hyper 30s, I'll go and spend, you know, 20 coins, get 5 more. And now he's gone, well, there's no point getting the ones in the thing because now I've just bought some. So I don't know. 25 million a pop. I don't know. Some people say that's a good value. Some people say it's rubbish. That's down to the individual, you know. Some people, I mean, there's been a right heated debate about is 20 coins too much for a Hyper 30? Well, I don't know. That's down to the individual that's playing. It's not me to decide. It's too much as far as I'm concerned. But then again, I've got plenty of them now. So do I need any more? I don't know. It was you, Rainer, wasn't it, that was having to take some off of one ship and put it on another ship at one stage, was it? If I remember rightly.
For what?
Did you the Hyper 30s? Didn't a while back you had to like swap some off one ship and put them on another ship or something?
No, but I had to buy some, so I had.
Oh, you had to buy. That was it. Yeah, yeah.
It was close. I think it was Ren, not Marina.
Somebody had to. I can't remember what it was. They were talking about. I mean, Bounty but one ago, I think it was.
Ren actually ran into that problem. I think this raid, he had to. I think he said he had to buy one to finish refitting one of his fleets for this raid cycle for this month's raid.
No, I'm refusing to do so. I have to say, but that goes back to an hour and a half ago. So anyway, right, stop sharing my screen. TSM, get off there, and let's open it up. Right, so across the board, we'll start at Aussie, and we'll go right across. Aussie, anything else in this week that's grabbed you or has pleased you, disdained you, or anything else? Come on, mate, what have you got? Anything?
No, not really. I think it's been pretty good this week. For me, anyway. Not saying that's for everyone.
Okie dokie. Are you ready for I take it you are an alliance, aren't you, as well?
Yeah.
Okay, so are you in the right world where you want to be when it comes to getting to 20 sectors on Tuesday? Or are you going to have to
I
hop?
think we're due to jump after that anyway, so we can move if we want to.
Okie dokie.
Yeah.
Like I say, we're hopping back to my home literally just because that's, the fact that you lose all your bookmarks. I know you got your friends and that stuff you can jump to and that sort of thing, but I think I'd just rather go back to owning a little sector of our own original where I was spawned and that sort of stuff. And if you're going to basically reset the game, then I'll go back and we'll start again. Maybe that's I don't know, maybe that's a sort of like a little bit,
You got to remember also that you got that 7 days. So if you're in the wrong spot, you can move each day for 7 days anyway.
Yeah. But unlike Robin, if you've got no friends, like you can't drop from world to world, can you? So you got to rely on somebody else, So,
that's
yeah.
That's the sentimental pirate in you, though, TSM. That
is. No, I'm being facetious, but But so, yeah, if you're stuck, I mean, I've discussed this before, not everybody looks on these pages and not everybody is on the Kickside forums. And some people play this game from other mediums and that sort of stuff and don't read a thing. Tuesday's going to be a massive shock for some people because they're going to
someone hasn't been on.
What the hell has just happened? Yeah. Imagine you've been away a month and you come back and all of a sudden, like, you go to move, all right, I'm going to go up to X99. All of a sudden, X99 doesn't exist anymore. And nor does X39 and 59, all that sort of stuff. They're like, what the hell has just happened to the game? It's going to throw a few people. I'm going to find the comms going to be very amusing on Tuesday after it happens.
So I'm confused about something with sector consolidation.
Go on.
Since you started it. So they said they were turning off expeditions 3 days before.
It hasn't happened, has it?
It hasn't happened, so...
I know. And yet they've said it'll happen on the update, the 8.45 update. That's when consolidation is going to happen, Tuesday night.
So I'm wondering if that's not when they're going to turn off the expeditions and we won't consolidate for a couple days. I don't know. But, I mean, they literally just put out their timeline saying how they were going to do that. So, I mean, are they already off their own timeline? I don't know. I don't
know, Raina. I don't know. I was trying to get hold of Mike, but he's dropped off the lines and that sort of stuff. So I was also trying to get hold of Chris, but I haven't seen him on Discord, so maybe he's not on this weekend.
Yeah, I haven't seen any Kicks people on Discord this weekend. They're all hiding.
Yeah.
Rightly so, probably.
I think the engineers are on this weekend because someone keeps playing with the dad. They've got the kids in for the weekend and they're playing with the damage dials again.
If you do take it as exactly 3 days, though, we're not yet at the point where it's exactly 3 days from when they've been doing the upgrade recently.
Yeah, that's true. We are a little bit, and the clocks change as well and that sort of stuff. So, we aren't quite there yet. In fact, we're looking pretty close, though.
No.
We are pretty close.
I don't know. I think
we'd be up anyway.
Yeah, so I think we'd be right on there probably by now, though, because it's
15:30 roughly now, isn't it? In kick time.
Yeah, can you remember
half an hour? Another half an hour, isn't it? Basically, and that's the normal update time, isn't it? So, in fact, yeah. Dominic's in Sideboard chat. He's in the same thing. So,
if you remember, I can't remember if it was Christmas. Oh no, New Year. It changed. We were doing something, and it changed the year. And I'm pretty sure it was last year. It went from 17 to 18, or it was 16 to 17, and we had an event going. And when that happened, when it changed the year, it stuffed the whole thing up.
That could be interesting because that sort of like could happen for this coming. Yeah, I mean, in fact, let's see forward in the calendar. Where are you talking about that?
Can you remember that?
That's probably why there's no TLC schedule.
I can't remember last week, mate. But it's interesting you say that. Okay, so the update for this calendar in January 19 is actually on Tuesday the 1st of 2019. So that'll be interesting. The bank holiday. Which unlucky Kickside employee is going to pull that straw and that shift because it is actually on the bank holiday the 1st. So that could be amusing. Whatever it'll be. That's good because that means our New Year's Eve show could be the weekend one beforehand. That's good. We don't actually have to have it on a New Year's Eve. We can have it on the whatever it needs to be in December.
Yeah, when is that?
That'll be the 5th. So no, that'll be the 29th. That'll be. So, yeah. Anyway.
I was trying to work out when. Oh, that's a weekend. Oh, hang on, that's not. I'm looking at the wrong ones.
So that would be. Hang on a minute. That wouldn't. What are they going to do? Because the bounty weekend would be the 22nd, wouldn't it, of December? Yeah. That's interesting. With the 25th. Yeah, so Christmas Day is on a Tuesday, isn't it? Yeah, because obviously the 1st is on a Tuesday as well. So. Yeah. Well, I don't know. Anyway, getting ahead of ourselves. But yes, interesting. So yeah, potentially exhibitions could get turned off in the next half an hour if they are going by their 3 days out plan. So anybody that's just started one, we'll soon find out on the pages. It all blow up. What's happened to my what's happened to my expedition? Where's gone this? That sort of stuff, as it always does. So, and they'll just go refer to the notes. But hey, we'll see. Right, G Daddy, anything for you, mate?
What was the question again? I can't remember it now.
Anything that's bugging you during the week?
No, not really. I've enjoyed Raid. I'm doing okay. I've got around 80 million at the moment, so I'm enjoying it. You see what difference is between a coiner and a non-coiner, really, in my eyes, is you all call it chores. I call it playing Battle Pirates.
See, I call playing Battle Pirates going smashing people up.
Exactly.
That's why, chores to me, PvE is just, to me anyway, I have to now try and chip away at targets and knock a few seconds off and that sort of stuff, because I refuse to spend the big amounts of money on repairing a mega hull or going and repairing a very expensive base hitting fleet when it's not a half-time repair. So I've now turned to diversify my fun into doing different things. But literally getting points just to get some items to put on a boat, that's not playing Battle Pirates. That's a freaking chore to me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying to you. But to me, it's playing Battle Pirates. So
okay.
Oh God,
that's what's changed with the game since Mark, you and I started playing. Back then we didn't have what you and I call chores that we had to do on a daily basis. So
no, you clicked a button. You clicked a button in your base. You went research that, and when it's finished, I might use it.
No,
right, and you killed cargo. That was the extent of our PvE and the monthly raid, and everything else was literally fighting with each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what we've always said is we always want more to do, so they're giving us more to do.
I don't know whoever said that.
At the cost of free to play, as it's free form game. Yeah.
Started that.
Some people, hey, I know we're in the zone, and some people only do PvE. They don't have any PvP ships whatsoever. Their bases are still like ridiculously square and don't have any turrets and that sort of stuff. And there are plenty of people out there. You know that by playing Bounty. You're like, where's all his turrets? This guy's level 100 something. He's got no turrets in his base. Is he being banned or something, or has he had them all taken away? He just doesn't have any.
They just don't care.
And some just and do you know what? Actually, what is wrong with that? But it isn't the true form of the game. It's just the modern version that's it's manifested itself into, because and G Daddy's a classic example. You ain't wrong, mate. I agree with you. If that's what's good for you, then that's great. I've came back, like I said, my 9-month break I had about 5 years ago, where I was an absolute animal in the game, like Liam used to be, and that sort of stuff. I just had an epiphany moment when I thought to myself, hang on a minute, what the hell am I doing? This is nuts. So I sort of sacked it, and I came back and say, and life for me has changed in the game. So, yeah, but each to their own. As long as you're getting out of it that makes you sit down in front of a, rectangular box and many hours on end and move a mouse around the table, I suppose that's up to you, isn't it, to be honest?
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I mean, you guys keep lights on for me, so you keep paying and I'll keep playing.
Yeah, no, there's nothing wrong with that, and that's why I like that people go and get 2.5 billion points and that sort of stuff. But just don't take that into account when they're actually trying to work out how much damage to put in the target, because I think it's wrong.
No.
That's because that's skewing the metrics massively, to be honest. Anyway, Geordie, what about you, mate? Anything else this week that's jumped up that I've missed, or anything that's bugged you particularly?
Three things that have got me this week is the lag in the new targets, which is appalling. And on reporting that and getting some gold for it, my advice was not to have any other windows running, including videos, which I found interesting. But they need to get that sorted out. The lag's just appalling and unplayable and unfun. I'm concerned, and my lack of trust in Kicks and their advice to record everything that's in your base prior to the transition alarms me enough that I am going to do it, because I'm worried about losing things. But
I'll talk about that in a minute, because I've got another reason why I think they're saying that. But yeah, go on.
And to finish on a positive, I think they've finally got the A sets to a point where it gives people who don't want to smash fleet stuff on the top sets to grind at the A sets, and also for those with incomplete sets, etc., to hit up and have a bit of a go at it and achieve something themselves. So I think they've finally got the A set balance about right.
Yeah, I agree, and you aren't gaining from going, because you're not getting those new shards, those couple of new items, that sort of stuff. Whether you see worth in them or not, I can see a couple of areas where one of them will go, but yeah, I agree. I think the A set is probably a real nice sweet spot, as is the 100 target as well. I think that's also now a really nice target, and I'm steering clear. Unless I just want to fix overnight, I'm the newest 104, 108, 106. Sorry, I'm steering well clear of those targets.
Agree.
Yeah. Okay. Hefe, what about you, buddy?
I think I brought up some of it. I don't see the role of the Proto Apollo. I feel it's wrong. A lot of people built 2 fleets of mana cores, and this will be the 3rd assault that we've been asked to build. And it's basically, without the expert build, I didn't know the calculation for that until writing this show. It's about an 80-day build for a fleet.
Yes. Yeah.
And the other thing is, we have not seen that there is even going to be an SSRB. All we've seen in the video is it's going to improve on the existing map targets. So it doesn't really appear to have a home. And as other people mentioned, now they're trying to sell you coins on it. There's been a lack of communication as far as how that's going to be beneficial to a player. Like, they need to sell this a little bit better, explain that there is going to be an SSRB and whatnot, because otherwise it feels like you're sort of potentially wasting your shipyard time, which is, well, people are still waiting to, at least I'm waiting to upgrade my shipyard because of the extremely long time and the lack of 7-day build tokens.
Yes.
I just don't see a role for it. I don't know where it's supposed to fit in the game, personally.
No, I agree. And is it for the 3rd corner? Did they actually mention it was coming for the 3rd corner? I can't quite remember. Somewhere last week or week before, they did say something about prototides and SSRB, but I can't remember if the things were on the same page, whether one was in Discord and it was just a feedback for someone's question and one was in the forums, or vice versa. I don't know. But you're right. That's what I'm saying. Over the last couple of weeks, the communication hasn't been as good as it potentially could have been. Hey, Ren.
Holy crap, you guys still here?
Yeah, just for a little bit, mate. We're just finishing off, mate. So not smashing any records tonight, because G Daddy's already got those. So, but yeah, I'm not sure. Ren, do you know, mate? Did they actually physically say, or has it been typed out anywhere? Pav says, yeah, it was on the forums, so it probably was the forums then. But I think it was the statement of the 3rd SSRB is definitely coming, and then the release of the Proto Tideseeker. That's right, the Proto Apollo, because it's not obvious. It's not like in the update to say that come and win the Proto Apollo, because the 3rd SSRB is coming, the 3rd corner is coming.
Well, there was a change in messaging. Initially they said, well, they didn't use these words, but they kind of said, we think this Proto series is a bad idea. We'll release the Proto Apollo because it's already designed, and we'll release the 3rd corner of the SSRB, but we'll stop there.
Yeah,
But then now when they actually release the Proto Apollo, if you look at the video, they're just advertising it as, hey, you don't like the repair time on the Manticore, then build the Proto Apollo and you can get titanium for less repair.
Yeah, so there's not a correlation exactly between SSRBs and the Proto Apollo in the same post, is there?
Maybe not anymore. There was. Now I don't know.
Yeah, but did you also notice that when in that video, they did 2 different targets?
No, mate, it was the same target. They drove different directions, which was really bizarre.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Then yeah, we should have gone the same path then. Sorry.
Yeah. Apple for apples.
Paths.
Sorry, Raina, go on.
It autoed 2 different paths because they were doing it on auto supposedly.
All right, I see. Oh, got you. Okay.
Yeah, I thought they were 2 different targets.
I mean, be honest. Right, I'm building the blanks now because it's not doing us any harm. You know, it was part of the motivation to not building a second, you know, skirmisher fleet because at the end of the day, I did want to get my shipyard up and running, and now I've done it. It's done. So I don't mind building the blanks. And yeah, expert. You know, it's interesting. The expert build, Ren. I don't know if you noticed, but the proto Apollo drops down and it gets its rank, which I didn't think the new hulls would, but it is.
Star, right? It gets a 25% bonus.
Yeah, so you're getting it down. You're getting each one for 8 hours. So I'm going to build the blanks. And if there's no SSRB, then I probably actually won't bother building them because I really like my scatter mantis. I have to say, you know, I'm not going to waste flipping 90 days or whatever it is at 16 days each to go and build those because Refactor's around the corner, and I want to focus on my PvP ships because I want to get back to base hitting properly. You know, once I work out how the hell they're going to adjust it. But
you're so optimistic. You're assuming it's going to work, right?
No, not exactly, but I do like building ships.
The happy way you said, I want to get back to base hitting properly. I'm like, okay.
Like I don't hit them properly now. You're probably right, actually.
Such an optimistic, TSM.
I'm always a glass is half full, mate. You know.
Well, what I like about the expert builds though is it lets you see what they want you to build and what to not to do. Really.
Wait, do you have different expert builds than we do?
Yeah,
it's guiding you. It's guiding you.
No,
it guided you a little, didn't it?
No, not at all. No. The expert build just means you get time off, mate. That's what you get.
Time off. Right.
Time off.
It doesn't tell you what to put on it. It just knocks a bit of time off and gives you a bit of rank, mate. That's it.
All right, I got mistaken because you had it on screen, didn't you? As it were all full. It must have been for a fleet you had before.
Oh, that was what? No, that was an example timeline. You know, looking at some previous sort of like missile versions of like missile Phoenix mixed in with a little bit of previous Apollos mixed in with a little bit of missile Manti. I sort of slammed it all together and went, there you go. That's the sort of stuff you could put on an Apollo. Right. To get a rough sort of like build time of, and it came out about 16 days and 20 hours or something stupid, you know. And some of those armors on there were quite old ones, but they gave you a really low fixed time. You know, the 0 fixed time because they were charged, and some were, some weren't. But that was just a rough idea to. I mean, I'm not saying that's the build because it isn't.
Oh well, that's why it was crap then. Sorry, I thought we were their design of the build for you. Okay, sorry, I do apologise.
Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, it is what it is. I don't know where we're going. I mean, if they could come out with the third corner is coming out in 2 weeks' time. Get building your protos now. No problem at all. For those of you who are interested, great. There you go. That's it. Announced. If it's just for the stuff on the sea, I'm just going to sit there with 5 blank holes and put them back in storage, or maybe recycle them. I don't know, because if you're doing it by expert build, that means you can fix them build them in 8 hours. You can do that overnight while you're asleep. So yeah.
Just so you know, let me know when you recycle them, because that's the point where I'm going to start building mine.
like my Man of Wars and stuff, you mean?
Well, no. So there was some other stuff that you recycled it right before it came back.
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
Yeah.
My rages were the worst ones. I'm still angry about that.
Spring Commander,
but yeah,
Breakers, didn't you?
And I never even built my on principle. I still haven't built Acadias on principle, and it's cost me. I know it has, and then but I'm just too stubborn, just because I got fingers burnt first time. And I know the Acadias have been a fantastic ship, and people that have got it are going to have some great time going collecting titanium. I would still rather struggle and flipping no Ren, and I'd still rather just
It's a long build.
It's a long ass build, yeah. And for the number of hours that it's going to take and that sort of stuff, which is a lot, a lot of days. Sorry, I'd rather just put up an extra couple of hours build time, fixed time on my scatter mantis, and just sulk every time I do it. So,
well, let me find out how long I've got left on my Sadies.
Stop it, woman.
What?
I don't know how long it takes us to build a blank, but it's too long. You can do expert build, can't you now? Maybe I could get away with it that way. No, see, then you're tempting me now.
Almost 17 days left on mine.
You're tempting me now. So I was not going to think about it. Right.
Come on, you want to do it.
Is the Man of War down to 50% in expert build yet?
I have no idea, mate. You arsehole. Oh, dear.
You shouldn't do it. Come on.
Do it!
Bring it on, Kit. Give us another FM during raid as well.
Right. I see Gina's on the end at the moment. She's still doing, she's on the screen and been hitting targets quietly by herself there. Anything you want to close the show with, young lady?
No.
You're good? You're happy?
I'm still getting to know my new ally.
Oh, right. You change like the wind, you do. Oh, dear. Who are you in now? What alliance are you in now?
I'm with Cass.
Oh, we don't talk about them, do we?
Hey, they're good people.
I never said they weren't. There are some very good alliances out there, okay? Cass has been around for a while.
Alliance going to be in next week.
Yeah.
Wasn't it a different one last week and the week before?
I don't know.
I switched during down.
The names of the other fleets, because I like fleet number 5, Dakota. Fleet number 1, Kiss My Ass. What
Yeah, I
else?
like it. There's some, yes, show us the rest of your fleet names. Come on.
Ready for you? Keep going.
If there's one that says "Come along, big boy," then we ought to finish.
No, I am going to name the rest of them.
It's about the one thing that Kickside actually don't censor is what you call your ships, or do they? I don't know. Ready
They
for
won't.
you.
They won't let you name it Titanic.
Oh, really?
Really?
There's no sense of humor then.
That was a pain train thing. Like, he was livid. He couldn't call his fleet Titanic. So.
Oh, hang on a minute. Sorry, I've missed something in sidebar chat. Pav, what have you got there, mate? Let me just go back up. What's your theory on the video of your content? I don't know. I'm not sure. Oh, sorry. Yes. Sorry. Yeah. So yes. Right. I got a theory on the reason why Kickstarter is saying please video or take pictures of your content, and I don't think it's actually you need to take pictures on the video of the content and that stuff. I think it's too many people are putting in bullshit tickets, and Kickstarter go show me some proof, and you've got no proof because some people talk porkies. Okay, and then they get angry when Kickstarter don't pay them out. It's as simple as that. That's my theory. Okay, so they're asking you quite nicely and politely in every opportunity possible to go have a little screenshot of everything you've got, and Ren's gives a hint on the quickest way to do it and that sort of stuff. You know, you don't have to do every single screen because you can look in certain areas. You know, and the little video. There's plenty of free video recorders and that sort of stuff. At least then you've got some evidence to go, I did own that ship. You know, and that sort of stuff. The problem is, if you haven't got it and you haven't produced some evidence, then you're in a bartering situation with customer support. And we all know the bandwagon. Someone says, "Oh, I just got 200 coins for this problem on the game," and everyone goes, "Oh, we've all had that problem on the game," and we all go sending in tickets, and then we complain we don't get 200 coins. You know, so some people are genuine, some are not so genuine. So I can't say that you should go out there and produce a video because I think that is ridiculous. But unfortunately, it's the nature of some people just basically downright lie. It's as simple as that. So I got a funny feeling customer support are not going to support that many people that don't put in tickets with some sort of evidence. That's my theory. Okay, whether it's right, whether it's wrong, I can see the reason why they're saying that, because some people just talk bollocks. Simple.
Yeah.
Because that's human nature. But hey, yo, that's my theory. And you can slate me for it if you want. I don't care. Not interested. But yeah, right. Okay. We've gone across. Ren, anything you want to close with, mate? I know you popped in a little bit late. Is there anything particularly been burning this week?
Oh, yeah, but I can talk about it.
Yeah, something's about to be announced, but it's not specifically game related.
I'm just going to leave it at I'm not happy.
No, I'm not happy either, but there's lots of evidence that I haven't got at the moment, so I'm not going to open my big trap and say too much. But something I've just has been alluded to that is not going to be probably well received, I think, by the general population. But anyway.
Are you talking about them making me a mod?
Sorry. Yeah, that's the one, mate. Yes. The thing I'd like to quickly finish off, if you wouldn't mind, I believe it's on Monday, isn't it? When there's supposed to be the player collective going in and doing this testing of the new PvP. Is that Monday?
Yep.
It's still going to be Monday.
I believe it's going to be Monday. All I can ask, and I can't tell because I'm just a player the same as you guys, if you are going in there to do some PvPing and that sort of stuff, you know, I have been in one of those previews already. I've sort of got an idea of what the hell's going on. Okay. You're going to be a bit gobsmacked. It's the first thing I can tell you. Okay. You are actually going to be gobsmacked when you see that what's going about to happen. Can't say any more than that, but you're going to get in there. They still haven't decided whether we can do streaming of it or not. There was Venom was talking about it. He was trying to encourage them because if you're going to get 50 of the top players in all the alliances or people that do a lot of PvP, and they're asking people to put in there, it's done now anyway, but they were asking people for their base IDs to prove that, you know, you were doing a lot of PvP, because if you're doing none, there's no point going into a PvP specific thing. The point is, do PvP when you get in there. Don't piss around hitting mega ships, or that's my request to you anyway. I mean, I can't make you do it, but there's no point because that's irrelevant. It's the ships and bases and all that sort of stuff that we're supposed to be testing. So don't waste your slot, because otherwise, look how long it's taken us to get people, and people like Ren and Rainer and Robin, that sort of stuff, have been saying for ages, come on, let's get some players back in these test things. You know, even Venom's been saying it as well. It's happened, right? 50 good PvPers should be able to get back into there now and do some proper testing on something that they're passionate about. Let's not bugger it up, okay? And let's do some proper testing and answer the questions they want. And if it's shit, tell them why it's shit. You know, if you think it's a lot of bollocks, tell them why. You know, but be you know, sort of like semi-professional. No, it's a game and that sort of stuff. But if you want the things to improve, you've got to really put a little bit into it. You know, that's my thoughts anyway. Right. The other business, and that isn't that point, by the way. There is something else, but I'm not going to talk about it tonight. And I know Ren doesn't want to either, nor does Hefe. But we all three of us know what's going on. It's just something that's not public yet, so we can't say anything. But it will definitely come out on Monday, I'm sure, because cats get out of the bag very quickly. And on that note, I'll just say thanks very much for your time. Nearly hit 2 hours. Wow, check that. If the expeditions turn off in 10 minutes, then someone tell us on the forums. All right, because didn't Jordy or somebody just start one? That'd be quite amusing.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Okay, mate. So you're gonna get ship damage and probably just kicked back out again, potentially.
You won't get ship damage because it started, isn't it?
Oh, I don't know.
They said that they weren't. It wasn't. You just can't start a new one. They were doing the 3 days out so that the expeditions would be done and fleets could be returned.
Oh, okay.
You know,
all right.
in that amount of time.
Okay, so not too bad then. That's all right then. Good.
No, it's just a matter of whether you can start new ones after that 3 days or not.
Okay. All right then. If we're allowed to stream this thing on Monday, I will probably stream it. Okay, probably with a couple of other players like Venom and that sort of stuff, you know, and if Ren's on and that sort of stuff, and anybody else that wants to come in, I'll probably put a hangout link in so you can just jump out. I might have to mute it a little bit because there is going to be a oh my god moment. I know that, but I don't know if they're going to let us do it. To be honest, I really don't. So I'm hoping we can, because if you're going to let 50 people in, there's no way 50 people from all those different alliances are not going to talk. It's just going to happen, and there'll be screenshots all over the place. So they may just let us stream it. Not that the people outside the stream can know anything about it, or, you know, as could do anything about it, but at least they can see what the hell's going on. Yep. That's my feeling. Right, and Corey's just come in right at the end. You're right, Corey.
Yeah.
You're just trying to make it go past 2 hours, aren't you? I know you are. Is there anything? I know you've been in the sidebar chat, mate, most of the evening. Anything you want to add, mate, before we log out, and then we'll just do an after show chat?
Not really. No.
Oh, good. I'm glad you said that. That means I can definitely log off then. Right. On that note, thanks all. You've been patient. It's been 2 hours, and that's enough. I need a beer. Right. Good night, all. Take care.
Good night.
Later, people.